Just confirming with the York players, yes, it is SJR in green. Northern on O on the left. Pulling from the right will be SJR, at least I believe I've got the polls correct. Both of these teams, quite a journey to get here to the finals. Tough couple of days, and here we go with the poll. Finals are underway. Right away, goes out of bounds. It was very close, very aggressive start. Can be brought to the middle, a bit of sideline chatter as to where it actually landed. However, it is coming to the middle. Zone coming out. We saw this a few years ago as well. SJR, very strong team. They have a very good program out of Manitoba. Great handler movement there. We're going with 3 strong handlers. And no mids available just yet. It is a very flat wall that they're playing with the mark coming out of the actual wall. Unfortunately, we've got I know, just a drop, unfortunately. And another D, an attempted break there. We're going back to the wall. Not very many options upfield at all. In fact, no options. They've got some tall players playing in the mid, just roaming around. Back to the middle of the field. Zone may look very boring. This is a very tense situation. There's basically no option. So what's being played right now is a 4-2-1, but the oh my goodness, a great grab there. Just a jailbreak at this time. Have to be calm. Not in just yet. Very tight dump there. Needs to give more space. Streaking across. And Northern takes the first point after having some issues in their own area, but a over-the-top invert is what allows them to break through. The deep also had a good shot. I just missed that, but hopefully we'll show you that later. But the deep D also had a very good shot on the actual disc and got a piece of it. However, the receiver hung on to it, and that allowed the jailbreak to go through, and that was about midfield. I'm going to turn the background chatter down a little bit so you can hear me better, but 1-0 the score here at the Canadian High School Ultimate Championships 2013. Mandy here. Get a good chance to see and unfortunately thrown away on an upline throw. Northern gets possession back. Manitoba, the powerhouse. Once again, that zone. A little bit of mismatch it might seem, but good boxing there. And ultimately, the height advantage wins. The travel called. And there's a Northern player being sent back. Wind picking up. No foul call. Where are the options? Oh my goodness, that was a little bit tricky. I've been in those situations and messed up my knees or ankles or seen other people do the same thing, so. Fantastic throw. Probably even better reception, and unfortunately throwaway at the end of it, the wind just pushing it to the ground. Once again, a wall. And this is a dangerous spot when they're trapped on the line. Good patience and movement. And unfortunately, just as soon as I say that, for options, good fundamentals. And he knows he messed up there. No need for us to say it. It was moving well and it was a good idea. Fortunately, a little bit of poor execution. You can see sidelines getting up packed here. A lot of action on the field right there. Hope I'm keeping up. We are still at 1-0. That's how close this match is. And timeout called. So if you've just joined us, this is the finals of the Canadian Ultimate High School Championship, or Canadian High School Ultimate Championship. We are about in our second point of the finals. We've already had about 10 turns, and they're very close to the end zone each time. Some great hucks, some great defensive plays. And it's been quite exciting so far. Timeout has been called right now by Manitoba, by SJR. And they're going to be looking to get some sort of movement going. The wind has picked up. It's fairly strong. It's going from the south-north, and the camera is currently facing northwest. And these fields are actually situated in an east-west direction. So good, strong crosswind, and that has caused both teams some issues closer to the end zone. Manitoba, SJR with white jerseys, green shorts. Northern, third seed from the GTA, in red tops and multicolored shorts, of as in they're solid for each one, but various colors amongst the team. Jersey requirements generally not that strict in Ultimate, but a bit more strict at the national level. And we're looking fairly good here. So what are we going to see from Northern? Is it going to be a zone? Is it going to be man? Looks to be setting up in man right now. Vert stack for Manitoba. 5 in the stack, so 1 spare handler right now as the dump. Probably going to see one of the cutters out of the stack come back and be a handler. On the right side of your screen is just where the closest person in the stack is. Upline cut. Looking for a huck along with that, not getting it. Just tipped. Foul called. This is going back. It'll probably be a count of round 4. Cleaned up after the tip. Brings us to a score of 1s all around. We apologize for the vibration of the camera. We have people running in and out of the stands where the camera is situated, and that results in some shaking from time to time. They are fairly good during points though, and we appreciate that. I say we, however, it's just me, but I say it on behalf of all of you on the stream. So let's look at a little bit of history on how they got here. SJR started out as the #1 seed in the tournament. They beat Thornhill 13-0 yesterday. They beat Maryville 13-1, and then York 13-2. And if you were on the stream, you just saw York play. On the other side, Northern. And we'll get to them on the next point. Once again, that wall, and it's a 3-3-1, and then it becomes a 4-2-1 at times. And it's a very smart wall. It's a tough zone to play properly. And eventually there'll be a risky throw over the top. And that risky throw over the top is what's going to either decide whether they score or not. There's a good movement. Unfortunately, no options afterwards. And a risky throw, close grab, and that's what we were looking for. You can see how tight on the field all the players are. And it's back to man now. And a call on the play, so the disc will go back. A quick pop through the middle, and Northern leads 2-1. And a point that could have gone either way. So SJR, after defeating, going through the pool play and finishing 3-0, played Newmarket this morning, followed by Auburn, and now finally Northern. That was their route to the finals over the last few days. Fuzzy Steve pointing out that SJR handlers making sloppy throws. Are they overconfident? I don't know. It's tough coming in as the #1 seed to a tournament and to a finals. Being relatively unchallenged as well all the way through is another problem in a tournament. And there's no doubt this is a tournament with a great number of wide disparity. The issue I actually see presently is that in this final, Northern has played great D. And at the same time, sorry, is there a call? There's a call apparently on this play. It will go back the other way. Everyone will set up on the other side. It's tough coming back as the #1 seed. It's also difficult playing a tournament this early in the season with warm disc, and you can see it on some of those throws when you flick. The disc is really soft, and players aren't used to that just yet. Good pressure by SJR there. Some very hard marks here by SJR. Hammer goes over the top, a little bit of a hospital, but it's going to be caught for the first break of the game. And Northern's defensive pressure pays off quickly to give them a 3-1 lead into this. Northern started off as the 3rd seed in this tournament. They beat Auburn 13-7. Then they beat All Saints 15-3, and finally St. Joseph 14-1. They played Westview this morning in the quarters, beat them, played SPM in the semis, defeated them, and you saw a bit of that on the stream, and now they're back here in the finals. Sorry, you'll see my mouse just fly through the screen over there. So here we go. SJR playing in, admittedly, the more difficult direction to score points on this field. So they're down 3-1. I don't think they've ever been in this position. SJR trying to move the disc around, still having a little bit of issues here. Throw goes up. Great D. Great read there. SJR a little bit all over on defense. They really need to mark up. They need to be playing. Lower the disc. She got the D as well now. She's looking for a dump. Gets it. And just thrown away. A little bit forced there. One of the things you learn when you get to higher level ultimate, actually you learn fairly early, is take your early throws. And it's very important to take your early throws. Your options go away very quickly during a point. Dump and swing as early as you can. Handlers, you have maybe a second or two. So go upfield. And once again, Laura's right there. She's reading the play much better. Northern once again with a chance. Oh, and a laser throw right through the middle. No deep options just yet. The Rose with the disc now. Looking for the swing options. Rose available, ready to go deep as well, and just slight issue there with the dump. SJR, once again, they need to punch this in. Away force, forcing flick. And great mark from Laura there to take away the dump. And he's going for go for the bookends, but deep options taken away. No options. Great grab by Laura again. And finally a throwaway at the end after a great recovery. Sorry about the angle, but the Northern players blocking the sidelines. It's difficult to see everything that's going on. My opinion, the deep game needs to start working. And while the throw went up, the wind pushed it out of bounds as soon as it got to the end of the pitch, or about halfway. More deep options coming up. But the underplay working out much better. Laura with the disc once again. Primary handler. Be great to see her playing in a few years. It's tough. SJR had another shot. This game has been played pretty much almost entirely in Northern's hands. A lot of miscommunication as well on the SJR side. We're going to see if that they can actually make this happen here. This is an important point for SJR. They needed that one. It's now 3-2. Just chatting with one of my teammates, former teammates. I think he's going to be playing Masters this year. And this is right now the start of the Canadian touring season. This weekend in Ontario was, at least in the southern Ontario, there was a tournament called Soggy Bottom Bowl, and held in Guelph, Ontario. It is used as a tryout tournament, and there are a great number of teams all the way from Ottawa and closer heading to Guelph to play. I think they probably had to be 24, 36 teams, mixed teams. And some of them playing for fun, others playing for fun and competition. SJR's wall working well again. The wind's starting to die down a little bit. We'll see if they have some options. Disc just inching up the field slowly. Northern players crowding the line again. Actually affecting themselves. Great rescue there. Very good wall here. It's a 4-2-1 at this time. And there it is. Options up the field. Great D there, on the line, making a stand. SJR once again with the disc. It's important for them to get this break. Deed in the middle of the field by Northern. It's very quiet here on the field. And Northern, 4-2. It's a dream start to their finals match here. Very impressive as well. Disc control has been very good for Northern. SJR look a little bit nervous right now. We're not quite as focused. Need to get it together at this point. Quite a bit of time. We're at 4-2 now with Northern leading. However, we've already had one timeout. Points have been fairly long, so time will likely become a factor later on. Although I might be corrected and be told that time doesn't matter for the final. Pull goes up. Looks like it's staying in right now, but goes out of bounds. Just fades at the end. Just coming to the brick mark now, as it's known in Ultimate. And Northern with a man defense. Great coverage. And needed to do some good hard cuts here. And the defensive pressure results in a turn. Laura's going to be streaking to the end zone here. She could get open quite easily. Unfortunately, another male player came in there and blocked her path. Pick called. So just stack being reset by Laura there. Great grab. Laura now with a disc. Looking for options already. Going upfield. Bobbled a little bit. On the doorstep now for another break. Unfortunately, as he threw that, he popped it up. It was just too much for her to handle at that point. SJR starting their handle cuts early, but just hanging on to it way too long. He had 3 options there. It's good crossfield flow that stopped now. And Northern gets another shot at the disc. They are moving in what has proven to be the easier direction all day. And there is a good possibility disc hucked way out of bounds. Sorry, it took us a second there to find it. And foul was called on the throw. So it's going to go all the way back. Foul or, actually that's, they're saying he went out of bound right about there. Makes it easier for SJR. And SJR maintain that point. It was a big one. 3-4 is much better than 2-5, especially in the finals. Momentum would have been clearly all on Northern's side had that point actually gone through. So what worked and what didn't? SJR still very nervous with the disc. They're having quite a few more turnovers than I think anyone expected. Northern moving it very well and being very patient against the wall zone, and that's proven to be a great advantage for them. They've had a few close calls, but SJR just hasn't been all that aggressive when they're going after the disc in that zone, especially in the mids. Either that or Northern has been playing it very well and has picked exactly the right time to make the throw and has put just the right speed on it. Disc goes out of bounds. It'll come again to the break. Both teams having trouble pulling in that direction. Big hard throw downfield, just a little bit too low. Does not float. SJR now with a chance to move it down the field. Travel called to bring it back. We'll look at that on the replay. As in when we watch it again later. We have no replay technology at this time. As an Northern player says, not to be offensive in any shape, way, or may. Great layout, D. Great pressure, but once again, and Nathan's being called to huck it deep. SJR using all of their players. It's a change in energy here. SJR need to finish this point. Manitoba ties it up 4-4. That's a great point there. Manitoba still down, one break. Just adjusting our shade here at this time. It's a very sunny day. All right, so we've got some shade issues which we're trying to resolve right now. Big pull from SJR.
Take away that first.
Starting off in the middle of their own end zone, staying in their end zone. SJR now playing man as well. Great movement by Laura. Great pressure by SJR there, and pops right back to his feet. Great to see that. Pick called. Just going to stay with Laura. And again, the early chance is not taken. And a lot of pressure there by SJR. It should have had a turn by now. And Laura with a point as Northern goes full field on a great point. Lots of options there for SJR as well. Wind continues to stay strong here at the fields. SJR putting back on pretty much the same line that they just had on. It's obvious what their strategy is going to be. They need to get to half. They might be playing their top players now again and again, but we can't tell if they look winded just yet, but given the energy the Northern players have, might happen soon. Northern cycling their lines quite well at this point. SJR only subbing on a few, subbing off a few. Big pull, but lands just inside the end zone. Lots of one deep option right now. Oh, unfortunately, the throw was just a little bit too bladey, a bit too much OI. Wind caught the edge and just threw it a bit too far out of the path. It's tough to throw those ones exactly flat, but if you get it exactly flat, it'll sail and just sit in the end zone and let anyone run it down. That throw will come with experience. Wall once again. Looked like there was a bit of hard pressure there. And we've got a very immobile deep D right now. This is not necessarily good for SJR. Northern maintains possession. They should be able to get something over the top quite easily. They're going to have to be patient. And that is a break. That is an issue right there. because they gained a number of yards at that point. Travel called. Bit of a floaty throw there, but that's all right. Height advantage. Lets him use it. Great flip forward. And that was a throw. These throws right there. Unfortunately, the first one was great. The second one was a turn. Unfortunately, turns in the end zone. It was close. The crowd was on their feet. SJR with their wall once again. It's a good wall. They are playing fingertips, almost fingertips there in the middle. And while that pressure is there, it's not going to let them get anything more than a few yards. That's the great thing about a wall, is that if you are confident with all of your players, it gives one an opportunity to cause a lot of stuff, a lot of problems. A great throw through the middle there. And just as there were chill calls from the sideline, a throwaway. And throw goes into the ground. This is uncharacteristic. And Northern with another break. (6-4). Northern now leads. Up 3 breaks. And it's highly likely, well, they will receive in the second half as well, I believe, if my memory serves me correct. But great movement there. There's a few turnovers by Northern there, but they're definitely looking to be the stronger of the two teams right now. Let's see if they can keep this pull in. What's your call at home? The pull stays in. Once again, the movement is slow and late for SJR, and that disc, while a little bit behind, we get good air battle here now, and Northern wins that one. Rose now with the disc. All right. Lots of deep options here. Tricky with the speed. They're on the sideline. Forcing a line. We should get a great view here. SJR. Great point. An important one for them to get the turn. And the score is now actually 6-5. Was asked a good question, what is this game up to? We'll check with the TD soon as well. It is apparently a 2-hour time slot. And we might need all of it. We're only at 6-5, and I believe we've already played an hour of this game. Right. What's your guess as to whether SJR will keep this pull in or not? We had a great pull from Northern last time that was deep into the end zone. Pull goes up, it's floaty, and it looks to be curving out. But no, it stays in. It's a little bit short though. And that lets the movement happen very quickly. Looking for a dump there. Just floats OB. This is, it's difficult as the wind's actually gotten stronger now. It's probably around just a solid 20, 30 kilometers an hour, probably closer to 30. In-cut coverage right now. Options not available just yet. On the line. And SJR pull even. They are still down one break. But Northern has taken a timeout. And it's probably a good time. They were up 6-4 not too long ago. Thank you to all the organizers here for the tournament. Thank you for ordering some great weather. We've had some pretty bad ultimate weather for the last couple of seasons, either too much rain, basically that, too much rain. And so far this season, the last few weeks here in Southern Ontario have been just fantastic and sunny. We did have snow a couple weeks ago, but leaves are starting to come out on the trees here, and that is a recipe for good ultimate season so far. Nationals this year, Canadian Ultimate Championships for the mixed open women's masters, and for the first time, Masters women will be held in Vancouver. Preceding that, also in Vancouver, will be the Junior Championships for both Opens and Women's. And that will take place on the 3 days, I believe, preceding the other championships, the normal championships, so to speak. It is also a World's Year. And what that means is that the top teams, club teams from Canada, will qualify for Worlds next year in Italy. And last time we had one was 2010. It was in Prague in the Czech Republic. It was an absolutely fantastic time. It was hot the entire time, probably about 35 to 40 degrees Celsius the entire time. There was a heat wave in Europe at the time. And it was pretty, I think, probably one of the most memorable finals that I've witnessed. And that was the women's final where San Francisco Fury beat the Japanese women's team. And it was quite exciting all the way through. We look for a rematch. And I hope we get one. And of course, last time around in Prague, we had Onyx, which was a mixed team out of Quebec, was in the finals playing against CLX. Chad Larson Experience, who play out of the US and I believe Iowa. I could be wrong. My memory's a little bit hazy right now on those events from 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. If you've never been to a major Ultimate Championship, it is well worth it. You get to see teams from all around the world. It's usually a pretty fantastic Ultimate, pretty good parties as well, but generally you get to travel to somewhere and experience a different culture, which is always worth it and something that we should be trying to do more. Canadians are well represented abroad. We've hit every major championship in the last 4 years, and even beyond that, so probably in the last 8 years. Pull from SJR now goes out of bounds. And the score is in fact 6-6 at this time. Just a little bit of correction from the sideline. Parents getting a little bit involved just to make sure that the score is correct. And with good reason. Northern now in a vertical stack, 5 in, looking for a mid cutter. Could have called a pick there, but didn't. Rose here on the sideline. She's being forced back to the middle of the field there, which is interesting. Considering that with the wind, it might be better to actually force back towards this sideline. However, turn has been produced. Away called. Easy in cut. Looking for the deep huck. Option not available. Just going to have to take it now for tricky upfield throw. And there we go. There's a deep. And great deep. Northern has had excellent coverage throughout this entire game, and SJR I don't think has expected it. They've basically had their way so far this tournament. With the disc now. She's been open pretty much on almost every cut. Great head fake there to get the upline cut. In Ultimate, that's the one you want. That's the one usually in when you're running. You will get in motion, so to speak, and you have more options upfield. And well, that was a pretty exciting play. Northern leading 7-6. SJR need this point and then need the next break to get back on even standing, and then they can think about the second half. I may be saying her name is Laura, it might be Laurel, but I'm pretty sure a comment on YouTube will correct me. Another big pull. And inbound, but bit of a blade. A little bit tricky, hard to see where the disc is going at this time. Great mark by SJR there. Not biting on the fakes. Great over the top. It could have been SJR looking for options. No huck called from the sideline. Call of play being yelled from the sideline. It looked like a beautiful throw. Unfortunately, just floated up for a little bit too long. SJR looking for a huck here or any option to get open. And this is something that has been done very well by Northern, is their defense. Call on the throw looked a little bit wobbly as it came out, so might have been some contact there and foul's being called. That's how usually you can tell if there's been any contact, is that you look for a wobbly throw. Normally there's enough flick on each disc that it'll be very smooth and not shake too much. And that is, of course, for the higher level throwers. When you're brand new, everything wobbles. Down called. And it's a turnover even if it was contested. Great D once again by Northern. I think this has been the issue. SJR looking winded on the field. They need to get power back in their legs. Oh. You might have just heard me gasp there. That is one of those tough drops. Great pressure there from SJR. He had a piece of that disc as well. Good for Northern to hold on to it. And we switch back to the other direction. Will SJR be able to get this one in? They certainly look like it on that last run. It's another one of those drops that's difficult to watch as a player. Disc is already in. Wow, great D there. Heads up play as well. Ooh, and then over the top throw, just read perfectly. Very tricky. And Manitoba, 7s.
Go Northern!
So Terry Lynn just giving me an update here on what happened in the third place match. It was between SJM and Auburn. Sorry, SPM from Quebec and Auburn from Nova Scotia. I saw them yesterday, I believe, and they brought a Saint FX bus, and that game was won by Auburn 10-9 on what would essentially be universe point. It was 9-9. Both teams had shots, and as we were speaking earlier about development, ultimate development and juniors development in Canada, the top 4 teams at this tournament are from 4 different provinces. So great job, everyone. Let's keep up the good work. Let's get more provinces involved. If you're watching in the West, why aren't you here? There's an injury here on the field. We're going to just shift away from it. So we stayed on that play. We hope she's back up and she's okay. And she stayed on the field as well. So coach is basically advising that either it was and correctly the coach has indicated that either you need to be out when you have an injury call like that, or you get charged a timeout. Movement continues to be on this side of the field. That throw last time hit the ground. It was a little bit close this time. A lot of pressure on the disc. Laura with a point. And that's 8-7 for Northern. And I'm just going to check up on what it'll take to win this game. I've just been told the game is in fact 15, so we are at half now, and Northern should be receiving. So we're looking 8-7, great first half there. I think a bit of a surprise from Northern coming in and right now looking at a possible upset over SJR. And SJR very focused here at half. It will be interesting to see if they can get their throws together. In the meantime, I'm going to focus our attention back on the field here, go over some of our sponsors. Of course, this is the Canadian High School Ultimate Championships for 2013. And Ultimate Canada has been putting on this tournament. And it is being streamed by Ultimate. And our official clothing sponsor is VC, and we don't have a logo for them here. We will at whatever next stream we do that they sponsor as well. I believe Discraft as well is an Ultimate Canada sponsor, and so we'd like to thank them as well. And now I think as there's halftime, I'm going to go throw on the field as your halftime show.
We won it! Let's go with our starters. Starting line.
Thanks to Jack there for throwing with me if you were on the stream. I've got a bit of energy in me now, so this will be a much more exciting second half commentary. I think that's one great thing about going out and throwing on a day like this. You get a lot of energy into you. You feel great. I'd like to thank Terry Lynn for organizing. Organizers don't get enough thanks, do they? Okay, so now that I've given thanks, it's all good. You don't need to say anything nice to her. Thanks as well to Jack. Jack's actually Australian, and he's here throwing with me. A lot of space in the midfield here to work with. They're going with some handler movement. This is exciting to see. There is a half field of absolutely open space, and it's all handler movement. Love it. As an ultimate player, love watching this. And there, now you are just seeing now a vertical stack in the end zone. And now they want cuts. The strategy of using handler movement might be what they need. SJR now on the line to score. Quick flick in, and that's a point. And they score first in the second half to tie it up at 8. Wind starting to gust a little bit more. It's not a trick play, but it's excellent strategy to use just handler movement to let the handlers be extremely confident. You also end up with fewer options in case there's an actual turn, because a handler would pick it up or they'd have to wait for the rest of the team to catch up. Might give you a little bit more time to catch your breath, but offensively, that was fun to watch. I think there's some Northern fans here as well who are looking at me a little bit with angry eyes. Kids mostly. Who am I cheering for, they wonder. I'm cheering for some good ultimate. Big pull caught by Northern, moving it quickly. They're going with 3 gentleman handlers. They do have lady handlers as well, and they've been using them very well. Pick has been called. It was a little bit late on the actual call, but it happened correctly. Lower the disc now on this side. Break throw. Nick moves it to the middle. Good mark there to prevent the break. There were options on that side. Good break throw. A lot of fakes being thrown. This is one thing that happens early on in an ultimate career. Is you throw a lot of fakes because you find that that can actually create space and movement. And you're expending a lot of energy when that happens. Flip forward there, just not high enough on the pop pass. Disc is in. They have options, but that's a close, close, close pass. Big Huck goes up. Easily caught. And this is going to be close. And a break for SJR. They are now 2-0 in the second half. Up 9-8 with the first lead of the game for them. So defensively, SJR really preventing the long throw, making it difficult to get any sort of movement, even on a clean in cut. Northern now pumping themselves up on the sideline. Just chatting, what do they need to do differently? They had one error maybe on that point, and it cost them quite a bit. I think that error led to the wide open throw as well. It's not quite a quick enough reset to get back on D. Let's see if Northern can get back into this. Great pull. Lands about the break mark, but stays in, so there won't be as much time to set up. Lots of deep options. Not taken. Now there's a little bit of clogging deep. And the wind's gusting again. Deep shot is now available again. It's wide open deep. Sitting at midfield. Andrea with the disc. Not many options, but trusting the receiver upfield on a great bail. Calls for chill coming from the sideline. Great reset. It's a blind reset because you don't know where the defender is on that one. And a throw into traffic in the middle field. And SJR has another shot now. The 21 is wide open here on this side. She's trapped on the sideline now in many shaped ways and forms. SJR just jogging right now, lacking a little bit of energy. Maybe they need to go back to their handler cuts. Great communication from SJR though. Deep throw, and SJR break again. This is where Northern doesn't need to be in their heads. They should have the confidence. They have this. Another single error has resulted in SJR going the whole field. Lots of time still left in this game, though. At least another, what, 3-4 hours? That's a joke for those of you without a sense of humor. 37 minutes, Jack tells me. This is exciting. Lots of time left in this game, but 5 points. 5 points for SJR. There are no observers in this game. You might be wondering why. The simple answer is observers aren't needed. High schoolers are very spirited, but mostly there's coaches present who are responsible for maintaining spirit and decorum in the game, and generally they do so. And it's also these teams have been really filtered through the system, so to speak. These are the best teams. Another pull. This one is staying inbounds. Yes, hits the far cone after a bounce. Andrea with the disc. Great, great break backhand there. There are foot blocks in this game. Lower the disc. This is great move from Northern. Good flow. Whenever the camera keeps moving to the right, that's good flow. Pick called. Lower the point, and they maintain and don't get broken this time. This could end up being, though, a game that they just play with the wind. Both teams are fairly confident now with the disc. SJR looks a little bit tired though, and they have a short line. Let's see what Northern's defense will be. SJR, short roster right now on the sidelines. Don't think they brought too many people to this tournament either. Northern local team looks to have 3 full lines. Maybe 2.5. Good deep pull here. SJR is going to be able to move it quickly. They don't appear to be playing the same handler movement that they were before. But handlers are still moving around quite well. Calls for "we are faster than they are" from the Northern sideline. Absolutely, right now, I think it'd be tough. There seems to be a little bit of revitalization in SJR's energy. And this is a tough spot here. And a D from the Northern side. Moving it back to the middle of the field. And Deed in midfield by SJR. Sorry, a bit distracted here. People wandering around the equipment. And Laura goes through, just runs through and gets that D as well. SJR definitely slowing down a little bit. Northern, let's see if they can actually pull it out now. There is a call, possibly a pick, but appears not to have affected, so it stays. And unfortunate, a lot of cuteness around the disc in terms of cutting. Not effective. Great grab down the field. That was a laser. Lots of pressure from Northern. SJR needs this point. End zones are pretty big, and SJR gets it. That in the second half now. It's now 11-9. After losing the first half 7-8, SJR is now up 4-1 in the second half. 11-9 now, game to 15, possibly time, but timeout has been called. Unsure at this point. No, there just appears to be a walking and coaching on the field. (11-9) here at the 2013 finals for the Canadian High School Ultimate Championships. It's better just go that. So my comment earlier, where are you west? This is very pointedly a statement towards the Vancouver region. If Manitoba can fly in, you can fly in. We have teams coming in from Halifax here. If they can come in, you can come in. I think everyone will agree with me on that one. Especially with you having nationals or Canadian nationals in juniors in Vancouver this year. Andrea moves it to the middle. He's flipped around very easily and comfortably. Great swing pass there. I'm a big fan of a little bit of pop on the disc because it slows up as it nears the receiver. Andrea now wants to move it to the middle. He gets hand blocked. No call. And SJR now with another shot to break. Takes it, but a little bit low. And the call is probably going to be that it's down. It looked down from here, and it is. Disc back in play. Andrea again with the disc. Swung back to the middle. And Dion Laura. Emotions running high here on the sideline. It's good to see that. SJR taps the disc in. Looking for a break. It's a little high. Oh, just caught by the wind. Pick or a travel or some sort of call. Just going back to Laura. Flip forward. Deep options aren't there at this time. Pick called. It would seem close. Great movement there through the middle. Deep shot. And unfortunately, just a bit too far for Laura. Northern still seems to have the energy for this game, but nerves appear to be playing a role. I had a good conversation with Terry Lynn last night when we were on the bus ride from the AUDL game for Toronto Rush about how much nerves play a part and how we've all been in that situation where at some point, even when you're up, you just can't close out a game. And this might be a case for both sides. Well, SJR has been here before. They're well coached in this area. Northern, well, they're all locals. They've been playing plenty of high school tournaments as well. And good recovery by Andrea. Oh, and sorry if you missed that one. My camera didn't go quite far enough. What happened there is that the disc was lasered into the end zone and it popped out off his chest and over the fence line here. SJR brings it back in. Not a lot of time left in the stall count. It's going to need to huck it, and there it goes. And it's a good punt because they've got quite a bit of field position with that. If the wind had been going up and down the field, it would have actually been an excellent play. You do definitely want to punt and stick and then just cover the in cuts. No cuts right now, and the stack is really deep. Swung it's to Andrea, but there's a lot of pressure upfield. She's going to need to move it around, and wind is gusting. This is a big pressure situation. That might have been a turnover. And just beaten up line. Great cut. Great movement from Northern. It's actually been very easy for them. And was it slapped out of her hand? It appears it was. Just meters outside the end zone now. You can see the full end zone. It's popped over the top. And Laura for the point. It's 11-10 now. Lots of time still left in this game. Maybe about 20 minutes. Probably. We've got 11-10. SJR now on offense. They had their shots in the last point. They were outside the end zone as well, very close. Even with a short line, you may ask, why are they so tired? This is their 6th game. You also have to remember, these are kids, these are high schoolers. While us adults might be able to play 9 games in a row and just say, you know what, let's play one more. Or play 7 games or 6 games in a row and say, yeah, let's just keep going. There's a different level of stamina at this level. In a few years, they'll all be kicking our high knees around the field. Don't think I'm allowed to say the A word on the broadcast, or the B word. Apparently, I'm not allowed to say that as well. Here in All the Canada broadcast, and disc was inbound, stayed in bounds, and it just slipped there on release. Bit of sweat on the hands. Looking deep, but the foot is right there for a block. Great grab up line. Looking, and the break backhand. This is a much better throw. And indeed on the line. It's a much better throw because it will curve back in rather than curving over the player. And it was just a little bit short, but a great blind D as well.
Megan, your girl doesn't get a cut. Be ready. Hey, no break.
Break backhand, flipped. Andrea there with the catch. Now there's a contested down call here. Again, in the comments, let us know whether you thought that was down or not. We'll look at it again when it's on YouTube. Great pressure. And just, it's one of those as well. Midfield drop. SJR with another shot. They need this to maintain. Not taking the early shots there. A little bit risky and waiting. Great handler cut there at number 11. She's got some energy. And we have an SJR point. That was 2 quick passes. Score is now 12-10 for SJR. What a turnaround from the first half. Especially with a 5-2 second half. They definitely got the energy. It started coming right out of halftime with just the handler play. All the cutters, 4 of them, went all the way to the opposing end zone and gave the handlers the full field to work it up amongst themselves. SJR clearly making a statement saying, you know what, we can beat you with just our handlers, and it paid off for them. Since then, they've just been rolling. Northern. This is their time now. They need to get this point and then break. That would tie the game up, and then they'd be going in the easier direction to score, where everyone seems to be scoring. that would likely give them the shot to win the championship. Big pull goes up. I believe it might have landed out of bounds. Time now becoming a factor. And unfortunately, that's a tough one. It's a tough one because this is a momentum shift right here if SJR can score. They've already been rolling, but this would be a big one. They could almost stall for time after this. Good upfield cut. Just if you're, in case you were wondering, there is no soft cap in this game, only a hard cap as per Ultimate Canada rules. SJR could stall here with their handlers indefinitely if they wanted, but get the point. And it takes a couple of people to get that knocked down, but they get the job done. Good throw over the top. Over the disc. This is good pace now. On a huge block. Two-handed layout D on the huck. You can hear it bouncing off his hands. Terry Lynn got a smile on her face. She loves the D. As in getting a defensive effort. SJR needs to get the point after that defensive effort. They owe it to themselves. And then it was a slow cut up the field. He just didn't look like he had the energy. Swung back to the middle. A lot of pressure, though. I don't think Northern is expecting this late in the game. Good grab. Andrea, far sideline. Good movement, and Northern pulls that one out. Here we go, 12-11. SJR now under pressure. So still about 20 minutes left in this game until hard cap. Lots of time for either team to get to 15. The pace of the game that we've been going through, though, it might be close with the time. We're just going to move the umbrella over a little bit. Got heating and cooling issues here with the camera, but that's all right. Pull goes up, and it's way out of bounds. This is burning time off the clock. SJR into a horizontal stack. Man defense. There's a little bit of a poach on the break side from the handler coverage. It could be a factor. Big huck goes up. Lots of pressure. And Laura, first there, beats everyone else deep. Northern here with a chance to break, tie it up. Good break throw. And just Deed, apologies for missing that there. It looked like it was going to be caught earlier on and the disc moved a little quickly, but it was Deed here right in the middle. Almost exactly where it lies. Stuck on the corner here. Might have been a pick called as well. And an injury as well. Might be cramps coming up now as well for the Northern players. Physio is right to location though. Great response time. And SJR punches it in. Quick pop. And they maintain. And it's 13-11. They get a shot now to break. So you can see from the screen, 6-3 in the second half for SJR. The gap is starting to get smaller, so we could see this become just a 1-point second half as well, or something rather close. Exciting though. Still quite a few spectators here, as well as students watching the game. Albeit from a little bit further back in the gazebo. SJR now about to pull. Pull goes up. It stays inbound. Quick movement here by Northern. Andrea now with the disc. They need to be getting into position here faster, Northern. There's already a cut that came and went, but an easy swing. A little bit of poach D as well. Pass to Laura. That was a good break throw. Great movement from Northern here. They're making quick work. There's a piece of that one. And he's injured on that one. He's winded. We hope that's all it is. But great recovery. His sub a handler in. They have an extra handler on the field, someone who is normally a handler. Emphatic point there. We're sitting at 13-12. It's not quite a Cinderella story, but it is certainly impressive by both sides here. Both teams have been playing just quite standard. Running 3 handlers. Sometimes SJR will actually run 2 handlers, but both teams will run 5 out of a stack unless they're doing a lot of space. As soon as they get closer to the end zone, they go to 3 though. And 3 handlers guaranteed, even if they're coming out of a stop play. Just focus down here on this end where the pole will be coming down. Wind is now a steady 30 kilometers an hour and gusting. Pole goes up. Little ladies lands in bounds. It's going to be brought to the front of the end zone. Even though it didn't go out, yes, quite. It's a live disc. It's a good call. SJR working out of their end zone right now. Looking for a huck. There's nothing in progress, and there we go. Continually good movement right now, but it's starting to stagnate. There we go. Recovered. Pick called. It is going to be most like, well, it's going to stay there for now. Stall 7. Now reset. It's probably up to 5 by now. And dropped outside the end zone. Swung to the middle. Far side, Andrea with the disc. Wants to huck it. No options. Now it's... Unfortunately, just a little too far out, but an injury now as well. Probably a cramp. We hope it's just a cramp and nothing too bad. These kids now running on fumes. Hope the player is okay. He appears to be holding his knee. Might have gone down a little bit hard. We're going to stay on camera because you never know where this footage might be useful. Fuzzy Steve's pick for start of the game, little kid in pink. She's hilarious. But Steve, is that on SJR or is it a little kid that's running around on the field? They're just checking right now to make sure. Here, why don't you come over to the right a bit more? Hi, Teddy and Millie.
My daughters.
His daughters from the coach. Score right now 13-12. SJR with the disc. Time is burning. That is probably the biggest factor right now. Four minutes left in this game. If SJR scores this point, it could be game. In fact, that will be game depending on when the cap goes. It's probably in the best interest of Northern to get their player off the field, and that's what they're doing. They're just getting the player off the field at this point because they know time is burning. Applause from the field. It's important. SJR moving the disc as well now. Wow. Apologies for missing that one as well. Pace of the game has increased dramatically. Northern needs this point. There was a pick call. Big throw up the line, and it's a turn. If SJR scores, that is game. If Northern scores, it's universe point. Lots of pressure here by SJR. Northern needs his point. Northern scores it. It's universe point. Not rushing it, being very patient here. Oh, big hammer goes over the top. Unfortunate decision. But he really had no other options. There were cuts, but didn't look back down for the dump or the swing. A lot of nerves on the sideline now. If SJR gets this, that is game. They've got a full field to work through though. Looking for a huck play, and there's a just unfortunately dropped. Hand block. That is a big hand block. Both teams have had a shot in this point. Saying no huck. Every single pass is under heavy contention. And the wind is just playing havoc here. This will be the point that goes forever. Andrea with the disc on the far side, wants to put it, doesn't have options. Finds one underneath. And these are just unders, easy unders right now. This should be a good point. There we go, universe point. You couldn't have asked for a closer final than this. For this one, this final, I'll be popping upstairs and not handling the scoreboard up until I get back.
Terry, did we get a timeout? Not hard cap.
No timeouts right now. We're up top here now. I'm on the camera to make sure I don't miss this final point. And I hope everyone can hear me at this point in time, but it appears that you can. All right, here we are, tied up at 13's universe point. SJR receiving possibly in a very good position because they're on O. However, they are going in the opposite direction of where most of the points in this today have been actually scored. Big pull and goes out of bounds. Very close on this side. We haven't seen that for a while, but big effort made to keep it. Wind is really gusting right now. A lot of space here. They want to take the deep shot. They're showing it. And a drop. Unfortunately, this is now Northern shot. Might have been a good pressure D. Call for cuts. It's going to get dumped. Andrea goes upfield. We now have 3 handlers, male handlers back. Andrea comes back, cycles in on this side. Difficult. Laura there in the middle with pressure.
That's too easy. You're giving him too easy throws.
Risky, not many options, break side. Great layout grab. Northern crowding the sidelines, you can't quite see it. We're going up line. Just meters away now. But there was a pick called. And that's the conversation on field right now. And punched into the end zone. Northern wins the Canadian High School Ultimate Championships 2013. SJR finish in second. Auburn in third. And an overall close final, an exciting final, comes to a thrilling finish here. Medal ceremony will follow. It likely won't be here on camera unless we have the time. Actually, it's going to be right here on the sideline, so we'll focus the camera in right there. And presenting will be Terry Lynn and most likely Jack as well, probably helping. Thank you for joining us on this stream. Very exciting final. We'll try to get up on YouTube as quickly as we can. We'll leave the stream going during the medal presentation at this time as well. Thank you to everyone that's assisted. Thank you to everyone that participated as well online. Very much appreciate your input and feedback. throughout the entire tournament. Thanks to Fuzzy Steve for keeping me company on Twitter. And here we go. Here's the score screen for the finals. 14-13. Great first half from Northern, and even better second half, some would say, to fight back and win the medals. They're going to be brought over here to the sideline. I think our field rental might actually have run out at this point. Anyways, we'll let the stream run. If it dies at any point, it's been a pleasure broadcasting it to you today. We hope you enjoyed the stream as well. Northern lining up quite excitedly, quite deservedly. Thank you to all the teams that actually came to this tournament. We know you make a good effort. Thank you especially to coaches. Without you, these teams wouldn't be here, especially to organize, and support from parents as well. For all juniors, players out there and high school players, I hope that you will play at the national level. It's much more exciting. You have maybe 4 years. You have maybe 4 years of high school, then you have a few years of university, but after that you'll be playing Ultimate for basically the rest of your lives. I'd like to thank very quickly our sponsors, of course, Ultimate Canada, I'm Ultimate, us. We're not really a sponsor, we're just doing the stream. And then VC for being the clothing sponsor for this tournament. Discraft, which is an Ultimate Canada sponsor as well. SJR congratulating the winners. And it was a hard-fought final. It could have gone either way, and for a little bit, it was going either way. In any case, hope you enjoyed it, and tune in again next year, and later this year we should have CUC live as well from Vancouver. So, for I Am Ultimate, this is Tushar Singh, signing out. Just been informed that SJR have won Spirit as well, so congratulations to them on that as well. SJR for Spirit.
Good job.